Hello and welcome to another episode of the NHS Pensions podcast, where we'll be taking you through a specialist topic of the NHS Pension Scheme and breaking it down so that you can manage your pension, plan for the future and understand the scheme. My name's Sharon and I'm the host of today's podcast, and I'm joined by my colleague Saf from the NHS Pensions team. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about opting out and refunds. So Saf, what would I need to consider before opting out?
So what you need to consider, Sharon, is if you was looking at opting out, is what are the benefits of actually being in the scheme. So when you come to retire, you would get your regular retirement pension on a monthly basis. You would potentially get your lump sum as well. And then also the things that you need to look at just pre-retirement is the other benefits that you would potentially be eligible for. So that is your death benefits, your ill health benefits, your life assurance and your family benefits. So if you did decide to opt out of the pension scheme, potentially these benefits would not be available to you when you come to retire.
If I opted out, whilst I think I'm saving some money now, there are lots of other factors that I need to consider before opting out of the scheme.
Yeah, that's right, Sharon. So as well as with your monthly amount that you'll get at retirement, you've got all these benefits that I've mentioned. And if you're not in the pension scheme, then you potentially won't be eligible for those benefits.
If I do opt out, I could also lose the adult dependent pension. Is that right?
Potentially, yes. So you need to be paying into the pension scheme for at least 2 years. But it does depend on your individual circumstances.
Okay. And would the same apply to the children's dependent benefits if I opted out?
Yes. So it may have an impact on the value. It depends on the circumstances at the time of death.
You mentioned earlier about lump sum on death benefits. Is there anywhere I can go to find out more information about this?
Yes, so we have recorded a previous podcast on this subject. So the link is below and they can click on that and it'll take them straight to the podcast for them to view. And all of the previous podcasts are available there as well.
If a member has considered all of this and still wishes to opt out, I understand there's a specific form they need to complete.
Yeah, that's right, Sharon. So they need to complete the SD 502 form. This form can be found online, so they need to download, complete part 1 of the form, and then they need to give the form to their employer, and then the employer completes the rest of the form. You can opt out via emailing NHS Pensions or writing a letter. They must complete the form.
Having considered everything we've discussed earlier, if I decided to opt out, when will my contributions stop?
So your contributions would stop at the next payment date of the following month.
So if I opted out partway through a month, what would happen there?
It'd be the following month.
Okay.
We hope you're enjoying the latest episode of the NHS Pensions podcast. As an NHS Pensions member or employer, if you're interested in having your say on how we can make improvements to the NHS Pension Service, we have opportunities for you to join our research panel. Through our research panel, we aim to collect feedback, helping us shape and improve the services we provide. Scan the QR code on the screen now, or if you're listening via audio, please visit the link in the description to sign up. Let's get back to the podcast.
Moving on to refunds, how would I qualify for a refund?
So, Sharon, you may qualify for a refund if you've got if you've paid less than 2 years' contributions into the scheme.
Yep.
You've stopped paying into the NHS pension scheme in all other NHS employments. You've not met the normal pension age, and you've not transferred any pension in from an outside provider into NHS pensions.
And what happens if I don't meet this criteria?
Well, Sharon, if you don't meet the criteria, you've got 2 options. You can claim your pension benefits when you come to your pension age, or you can potentially transfer out your benefits into an alternative provider.
If I've opted out and have less than 2 years membership, without qualifying for pension benefits, will I receive a refund automatically?
No. So what you'd need to do, Sharon, is you'd need to complete the RF12 form. So this form is available on our website. You just need to download it, complete part 1, and then give that form to your employer. And then your employer completes the second part of the form and then sends it over to NHS Pensions. And then we will process your refund form. If there's any questions that we need to ask you following with us receiving the form, we will contact you or your employer to get your pension contributions refunded.
Okay, so I need to complete part 1 of the form, give it to my employer, and they'll complete part 2.
That's right, yes.
Great. Just to be clear, the total amount I receive in a refund may be less than the actual amount I've paid in.
Yeah, that's right, Sharon. So when you pay over your NHS pension contributions, they're not taxed. But if you're looking for to claim a refund, then that may be taxed.
And what about my employer contributions? Will they be included in my refund?
No, the employer contributions aren't included in your refund, Sharon.
So what if I decide that I want to rejoin the scheme after I've claimed a refund? Is that possible?
Yeah, of course it is, Sharon. You can rejoin anytime you want.
If I return to NHS employment after a break, can I claim additional refunds even though one's already been paid out to me?
You may be able to, Sharon. You need to have less than 2 years qualifying membership, not have met the normal pension age, and then again, like I mentioned earlier, the transferring in from another pension scheme into the NHS pension scheme. So you may be able to, depending on the circumstances.
So, Saf, I'm just thinking about members who may be working for 2 different employers and paying contributions separately. Could I claim a refund from one but still pay into the other one?
No, you wouldn't be able to do that, Sharon. So you need to have ceased all pensionable membership in all the NHS employment.
Okay. Thanks for that, Saf. And finally, where can I find more information about refunds?
So all the information can be found on our website, along with all the various other information that we have.
Thank you, Saf, for joining us today. And if you head over to the NHS Pensions website, you'll find more information on everything we've talked about today. If you've any feedback on the podcast you've heard so far, or any suggestions for future podcasts, then please drop us an email at the Stakeholder Engagement Team inbox. Finally, just hit subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcasts for future episodes of the NHS Pensions podcast. That's all we've got time for today, but we hope to see you on the next one. Goodbye.